Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, and the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Well folks, I'm going on vacation. I will be leaving, or by the time this episode airs, I've already left August the 8th for Italy. We'll be back on August the 23rd. So I will not be able to present to you weekly recaps for at least the next 3 weeks. So what I thought I'd do at the very least for this weekend, which is August the 9th, is present to you a sort of a recap, but it's a pre-vacation recap, if you will. Where we're going to be revisiting what pens will I bring with me on vacation, where am I going, what themes do I want my pens to reflect, what journals I'll bring with me, what pen cases I will be using. So it's going to be kind of a vacation, traveling, revisit, and weapons for the vacation sort of a recap for you. And that way you'll have the benefit of that on August the 9th. And I have something else planned for the following 2 weekends. So stay tuned for that. So without any further ado, Fountain Pen Therapy presents its pre-vacation recap. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. First of all, where am I going on vacation? Well, I will be going to Italy, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you see things, I will not be in a fountain pen city, if you will, like Florence, Rome, Bologna, that Milan, that sort of thing. I'm going to be on the Amalfi Coast. I'm going to see family, and I'm going back to where I was born. Been there several times since I immigrated to Canada. It's Sorrento on the Amalfi Coast. We're going to visit Sorrento. We're going to visit Capri, Positano, Amalfi, Ravello, Procida, Ischia, and we'll be landing in Naples. It's a direct flight, Montreal-Naples, and then from Naples we're heading our way down to Sorrento, and then from there we have day trips planned a little bit everywhere, and then I'm going to stay a couple of days in Capri. And I was thinking about meeting up with Nino Marino of Delta in Naples, either just on a separate day, or maybe even the day I landed, because I'm landing in the morning, and I have the day, and I can head towards Sorrento at any time. But unfortunately, I touched base with Nino, and he was disappointed, just as disappointed as I was. But his factory and his business shuts down in August, like a lot of businesses do in Italy in August. It's vacation time. He's been working over 12 hours a day for I don't know how many months now and years. So he's going to take a well-deserved holiday, just like everyone does in the summer months, or most of us do. And so he won't be around. And unfortunately, that will not happen. I might still visit the city of Naples, because there is one pen store in Naples, Casa delle Penne, or della Penna, which I may want to visit. I'm going to see if I can convince my cousin to drive me back to Naples one day. We'll stop at that pen shop, and maybe I'll make one purchase. If I have the time. But my schedule is kind of a last-minute decision. My son went to the Amalfi Coast, as you may know, not too long ago, and he showed me pictures of the food, of the places, all the beautiful water, etc. And I said, you know what am I doing here? I gotta go. I was planning on going on vacation a little bit later on in the year, but I told my wife, let's pack our bags and let's just go for 10 days. So that's what we're doing. So that's where I'm going. So I think the first thing I want to look at is what are going to be my pens. Now, I'm going to put this probably down in the description. You saw what I brought with me back in December, January, when I went to Portugal for a month, visit my son, played some golf. But that was a month. And a month that I brought 24 pens. And I'm going to show you the pens that I brought, that I picked then, and whether or not any of them will find their way in this year's haul from my vacation as well, and what my thinking is a little bit on that. Do I have a theme that's going to inspire my choices? Stay tuned for that. And then we'll take a look at some pen traveling cases, pen traveling journals, that sort of thing, and see how we can combine pens, paper, and depending on what you plan to do. So first things up, let's look at the pens and revisit the pens that I brought last time. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. Here are the pens that I brought with me last vacation, and as I said, for a month. I've got a combination of pens here. My thinking was I wanted to bring some cartridge converters, just in case I decided to buy some ink, and you could fill your pen and easily dispose of whatever ink you had. I wanted to bring piston fillers because they carry more ink, so if I don't buy any ink, I will have plenty. And there's vac fillers are also very practical, especially on the plane. And then I wanted to bring a kind of a capless pen, and perhaps just one pocket pen. And you see here I have choices. I have several Italian pens. I've got Chinese pens. I've got Japanese pens. I got a series of pens that I chose based on different criteria, okay? And different reasons that I explained in detail in my video that I published back in December, I think it was. Now, from these pens, I'm going to tell you which ones I'm considering for this vacation. First of all, my Italian pens. Given that I'm getting in Italy, I have my Aurora, my Leonardo, another Leonardo, and we'll look at these in detail later. This is another Leonardo. This is a Gioia. This is a Delta. This is a Aurora. This is a Omas. Do I have any more? Yeah. So all of these pens I'm going to be considering for this trip. I have my Legacy. This is a Japanese pen. This is the 3776. And I've got some Majons. And I've got these two, which I'll discuss in a second. So let me put these aside because these are going to be forming part of the pens that I'm considering. And I'll explain to you why in a few minutes. From the ones that I see here, first of all, I got a bunch of Chinese pens. I brought these two Asvines. This is the V800 and this is the C2000 with Ebonite. They both have number 8 size nibs, and they also are both 1.1 stubs. So I figured I don't need two number 8 Asvine 1.1 stubs. I have to make a decision between these two. And I'm going to go with the Asvine C2000 just because it's green and I have a lot of blue pens and a lot of blue ink. So I don't want to be repetitive. I'm going to consider the green one. So we'll discard right away the blue Asvine V800. This is the Jinal Flex that I brought with me. This thing is a mess. It just leaks and just too much ink. So I'm not going to bring it along with me. This is the Asvine C80, again with a number 8 size nib, but it does have a extra fine nib. So this one I'm going to consider. So I'm going to put in my considering column. This V200 is a wonderful pen, but what I discovered was that it is really slippery. I didn't enjoy the writing experience. When I was on the road, I was constantly struggling with it. So I'm going to pass this time along. I've got to bring my Pope pen. This is the Asvine, the Wingsung 930, and I'll explain to you why. So this is going in my considering. The 630 Wingsung also has to form part of the equation. I want to bring one piston filler, and instead of bringing my 823 Pilot, I'm going to bring my Wingsung 699. That way I won't feel guilty if I lose it. This is a big Urushi imitation with a nice nib, but I'm going to pass on it. Didn't end up using it very often. It's a clunker. It's very heavy. I'm going to pass on it. This is my P140, definitely part of the equation. Let me put these three here. I'm not going to repeat this. This one has the 139 as exactly the same nib. So I figured I'm going to choose one of the two. And I like the demo, so I'm going to choose that one. These things I love. They're titanium. I'm in love with titanium pens these days. They are both Majons. This is what the P136 titanium, and this I believe is the P137, if I'm not mistaken, or 135. I forget. Both are going to be forming part of my consideration. As far as the capless pen, frankly, I don't have a capless pen. Even my Pilot original gold nib dries up on me. So I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not bringing any of these, which is unfortunate. And the other capless pens that I have are even worse. This one was the best of the lot. This is a Majon A3. And after a day, traveling, by the time I got to Portugal a day later, it was dry. So I'm not going to bring it with me. Pocket pen, I like this pocket pen because it's Ultim, and you can't destroy it. It's not an expensive proposition, but I have since acquired other pocket pens, and I'll show you which ones I'm going to choose in a minute. So I've discarded all these. These are part of the consideration. So let's put this one away. Put this one to the side, and let's see what else I want to bring with me. Okay. Let me just get a tray so we can start accumulating these pens. And then, of course, I'm going to have to make a choice because I just got too many in mind. Okay. First of all, I'm going to Italy. I'm going to Naples and the Amalfitano coast. I've got to put in every pen that evokes at least one of the places where I'm going. Let me explain. First of all, this is the Leonardo Sorrento. I mean, I'm staying in Sorrento, so definitely the Sorrento will make the trip. This is the Leonardo Positano. I'm not sure yet, but we may end up in Positano. I've been there many times, and I'm not sure that my wife wants to go again, but it's still Naples, it's still the Amalfi Coast, so the Positano is going to make the trip. This is the Leonardo Furore. Now, Furore is one small little town on the Amalfi Coast that if I have a chance to go, I will go. It's a little alcove. There's got a little beach. Really nice. It's only, I think you only get there either by bus or even better by boat. So I'm going to bring the Leonardo Furore. This is the Napoli. Of course, I'm in Naples. The Delta Napoli is going to make the trip. This is the Leonardo Momento Magico Pithecusa, and Pithecusa was one of the first Greek settlements in Ischia, the island of Ischia, where I'm going. So this pen will make the trip. This is my beautiful Amalfi Magnifica pen. I'm not sure I'm going to bring this with me because it's expensive, but if I'm going to go to Amalfi, I've got to be able to sit in a cafe and write with this pen. So it's going to be part of the consideration. You can't go to Naples, the hometown of Delta, without a Dolce Vita. I'm not going to bring my Dolce Vitas. They're just too expensive. But this recently acquired Delta Dolce Vita Glow Up with a steel nib. I'm really enjoying this pen these days, so it's going to be considered. This is the Gioia Alleria Mare Chiaro. Mare Chiaro means clear sea, and Mare Chiaro is also a famous Neapolitan song. And if I'm going to go to Naples, I've got to bring a Mare Chiaro pen. So it's going to form part of the equation. Speak of Naples, well, this is the Napoli C. This is one of one special pen given to me by Nino Marino. If I'm going to revisit Naples, I've got to think about bringing this pen. Except it's so special because there's only one in the world that I've got to seriously consider, whether I'm going to bring it along in case of theft and loss, etc. But it's got to make the consideration. So we'll add that to the game. Italy, Aurora. This is Sole Mio. I mean, the Sole Mio, O Sole Mio, is one of the most well-known, Neapolitan songs. So again, Naples, O Sole Mio going hand in hand. But I also have the Aurora Flex. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm only going to bring one of the two. The flex nib in this thing, I'm going to transfer it to the O Sole Mio. That way I bring only one. So it's the Aurora Sole Mio will make the cut. If we talk about Delta, this is a beautiful pen. This is the Delta Reservoir. I've got to consider this pen just because of the reservoir that it has. It has this huge ink reservoir, so I'll never run out of ink. So this is going to make the cut. And I think my two favorite Leonardo pens have got to come with me as well, or at least I'm considering. This is the Leonardo Sottobosco Momento Zero Grande. It's going to be the only Grande with a special La Fenice number 8 size nib. I got to think about this one. It's an expensive pen, but I really got to think about it. The next one is this Leonardo Momento Zero Grande Ebonite. What's special about this nib is this number 8 fine steel nib that is so precious and writes so nicely that I can't see myself going on vacation without it. So it's going to make the list. This is the, where is it? In terms of Italian pens, do we have any others? This is a Leonardo number 6 size 14K Yowo nib. You know what? It doesn't evoke any city in Naples. I think I can pass, so it won't make the trip. The Omas Ogaiva will make the trip just because I can put a hell of a lot of ink in there, and the fine nib on this pen is just absolutely fabulous. So the Omas Ogaiva will make the trip. The demo. This is the Partenope. Partenope is a very nice special place in Naples. Of course, it's going to make the trip. It's also got a special grind on that Yowo nib. It's from Gioia. So Gioia, another pen maker, it's coming with me as well. So there you have it. Aurora Tenuentum, I'm going to pass. I have an Aurora, so got to make some choices. So this one, I'm going to pass. I've already mentioned that this flex nib is going, the flex nib in this pen is going in my Sole Mio, so this one we can put away. Now, what's next? So those, in essence, are, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. Those, in essence, are my Italian pens. And we may have to make some more difficult choices in a few seconds. What else am I going to bring with me? Well, one thing's for sure, I'm bringing with me some titanium pens. Now, both of these Mahjons have the same nib, so I'm going to have to make a choice. It's either this one or this one. And you know what? I've really been enjoying this pen. It's a piston filler. I'm going to go with this one. So that Mahjon, P135 or 137, I forget, is making the cut. We're going to do some writing, so stay tuned for that. I definitely want to bring with me my Mahjon P140. Lots of ink, beautiful nib. Absolutely. It's got to make the consideration. My Pilot, my Pope pen, 930, as I said, is going to be considered. Now, from the Asvines, I got to make a choice between these two. Either do I bring an extra fine, which is fun to write with, or do I bring my 1.1 stub? I'm going to go with my Asvine 1.1 stub that I know I will enjoy. Next, Winsung 630. I've got several Winsungs that I have to consider, and I've got to make some choices here. These are all 630s. One is a flat top, and two are the cigar shape. This is the medium, and if I'm going to write and enjoy writing on a notebook on a beach, I find that the flow of this one, which is a broad, is really, really, really something I don't want to miss. So I'm going to get rid of my 630 medium, and these are with the new nibs, okay, which are fabulous. And I'm going to stick to this one because it has a broad nib. But I have got another broad nib, and this is the broad stub nib that I really enjoy writing with. So it's going to go in the list of pens to consider. So that's so far. Now, do I have anything more that I want to add? Yes, I do. I got to think about, in terms of Chinese pens, I'm enjoying writing with this, so I got to think about bringing this one. So we'll add it. I've really, where's my Legacy? I have my Schaefer Legacy, and I have a Lotus Saratoga. They write a similar way. This has an imperial steel nib. This has a gold nib. I don't want to lose this Legacy. This is much less expensive, so I'm going to go with my imperial Saratoga, okay, which I think is fabulous. And the Lotus pen. Speaking of Lotus pens, this is my Lotus Titan with the unique nib, and I can't see myself passing a vacation without this. So it's going to be part of the consideration. Do I have anything else? I have another titanium pen, which is this Ungdian T1, which just writes fabulously. So I'm going to have to think about that one. And last but not least is two more pens. Do I bring a Pelican? I'm not going to bring my M1000, but I may very well bring my M800. Sorry about that, the phone rang. Where was I? Yeah, do I bring my Pelican M800? Fine. I'm thinking about it, so it's going to go in the consideration box. And do I bring my Monster with that beautiful broad nib? It's going in my consideration box, folks. Those are my full-size pens. Now, I got to bring some pocket pens, and these are the ones that I'm going to bring just one from all of these, and I got to think about which one I'm going to choose. Is it my EDC with the fine Schmidt nib? Is it my Ondean M2 with a beautiful Ondean medium nib? Is it my Namisu recently acquired with a number 6 steel nib with a medium nib? Or my my Majon, titanium RS1 with a nice fine nib? Or my newly acquired Jinhao 59? I've got a choice to make out of these 5, and I'll let you know what I choose in due course. So this is my stash, folks, that I'm revisiting. Next, what I propose is that I do some writing with my final choices. I can't bring all of these with me. There's just too many. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Plus 6 is 27. And I got these 4. It's 31 pens. At best, I can bring 24 if I'm really stuck. Ideally, I would want to bring only 12. So, got some choices to make. Let me reflect, and I'll be right back. We'll do some writing with my final choices. Okay, we're back. We're going to do some writing, have some fun with these pens, and make our choices as we go along. First of all, in terms of the pocket pen, it's my Ondean M2 Titanium, which is my choice. So let's put down here pre-vacation pen choices. So with regard to the pocket pen, look how nice this pen writes. I mean, it's just fabulous. It will be my Ondean M2 titanium finish. Just a beautiful pen, by the way. One of my favorite pens, as it turns out. It's not bad. The converter's a little more convenient to fill, especially compared to the Jinhao, which kind of mimics the Pilot. So, pocket pen, Ondean M2 titanium. That's a nice choice. Now, what else do we know? In terms of vacuum fillers, I think the only vacuum filler, if I'm not mistaken, in the choices I've made, I've stayed away from Pilot. And maybe I'm going to regret it, but it just doesn't speak to me. Okay, I've got a broad nib on that vac filler, and I'm starting to regret it. I think I would prefer the writing experience from a Pilot nib if it was a fine. And I know it's kind of contradictory because I like broad nibs, but not that one. It just doesn't speak to me. The only one would be this. So in terms of vac filler, the only one I'm considering is this Gravitas Monster. It's got a beautiful nib. It writes really nicely. But here's my thinking. This pen is so slippery. It's a disaster, folks. It really is. It kind of takes away from the writing experience. And I can't see myself struggling along with this slippery pen when I'm writing, in a notebook on my knees, on a lounge chair, either on a beach or poolside. The chances are I'm not going to do much writing indoors in either my apartment or hotel room, just because we won't be spending much time there. And the experience with this slip, I know me, it's just not going to happen. So I'm going to bring this and never use it. So I'm going to let it go. So in terms of vac fillers, there are not going to be any. Not applicable. 0, nil. And I know you were going to say, well, vac fillers are the ones to choose. You know what? I'm not afraid to travel on a plane with other pens. So far, I've had just excellent experiences. So there's not going to be any vac fillers. Now, in terms of cartridge converters, here's my thinking. First choice is going to be this Leonardo Momento Zero, not the Grande, standard, Sorrento. I mean, I'm staying in Sorrento. That's going to be my base. So for cartridge converters, first of all, there's going to be the Leonardo Momento Zero Sorrento. And this pen has got a beautiful 1.1, just a gorgeous stub. Works really nicely. That's the Sorrento. By the way, the water is actually like that. Let me just try to see if this thing focuses. There you go. Next thing. Okay, I've got my Positano. This is the Leonardo Positano. Come on, cooperate. Now you got to focus. Focus, 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 focus. Okay, here it is. Beautiful pen. But as I was doing this video, my wife kind of overheard where we're staying, and she said, Vince, we're not going to be in Amalfi and Positano. We don't have enough time. So if we're going to skip anything, it's going to be Positano, Amalfi, and Amalfi, and even Ravello, unfortunately. But just because there's too many people there, and you know what, we're going to avoid it. So the chances are I'm not going to be writing with this Positano on a, beachside cafe in Positano. So I'm going to reject this pen. So that goes by the wayside. Next is my Furore. There's a good chance that I might visit that alcove, that Furore, town of Furore. So, hello? Focus, focus. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So we're going to choose this Leonardo Furore. And this is Aqua Petra, which I guess translates into water rock. And it too is a 1.1 stub. Nice pen to write with. Comfortable. Never dries up on me. Next, what have we got? Well, we got the Pitacusa. This is the Memento, and Pitacusa is, as I mentioned, one of the first settlements, Greek settlements in Ischia, which is an island off that Amalfi coast. So we're going to go to Ischia for sure. So I'm going to do some writing. I'm going to do some writing with this pen in Ischia. So this is the Leonardo Magico Pitacusa. I think that's the way you spell it. And it too. These are my early years where I was only buying stubs. But they write wonderfully. So that's going to make it. What else have I got for you? Well, we will be in Naples. But having said that, this is my Napoli C. Nino Marino GIF, 1 of 1. I'm not going to take a chance. So even though wow, I really spilled ink. I didn't even realize that. I don't know where that came from. Probably from my Furore. But yeah, so I'm not going to take a chance. I don't want to destroy or lose this pen. So this one's staying home. When it comes to the city of Naples, however, I will bring this one along. This is not as expensive. It's still a nice pen, but it was a gift from one of the viewers. But I'll take a chance with this one. This is the Delta, Napoli. And it's got a flex nib, well, a flex yowo nib, so writes just beautifully. So this may very well be the pen I write in this very popular cafe in Naples after I hopefully visited Casa delle Penne in Naples. Hopefully that will come through. Next, speaking of Naples, as I mentioned, I don't think we can, be in the city of Naples and not play with a Dolce Vita, the birthplace of Dolce Vita and the actual, it's where they live these days. So the Delta, and this is the DV 2.0 glow up. Now this presently has Jacques Herbin and a Jacques Herbin ink, shimmering ink. I may very well replace the shimmering inks because I notice it's starting to clog up already, and I'm going to put an ink, maybe a nice black ink that I can enjoy. Okay, so that one's coming with me. This is Partenope. I have two Gioia pens, the Mare Chiaro and the Partenope. I'm going to opt for the, this is another stub. I have enough stubs, so I'll put this one aside. And I'm going to go with this one, which is a nice grinded, I think it's a fine stub. So this is the Gioia Partenope. Now the pen is not inked, so I'm going to have to ink it. And this has a italic fine nib. Yeah, I'm going to have to ink it. There's not enough ink in this one, but this one definitely, I can see this being used and maybe even raising some eyebrows. I've got to bring my Delta reservoir just because of the beautiful reservoir this pen has. As some of you may know, it's got a huge ink chamber there, and that I can remove and fill. I doubt very much I will run out of ink with all these pens, but having said that, it's there. This is the Delta reservoir. And besides, it's got that beautiful Yamabudo ink. It's just a nice writing experience. So this one's coming with me. The next is this Amalfi. As I mentioned above, or before, I'm not going to go to Amalfi, which is unfortunate. So, if I do, I'll regret it, but not bringing the pen, that is. The chances are I will not be there, so I'm going to put this Amalfi aside for that reason. And also, it's an expensive pen. It's an original. It's not the remakes that have come out recently and sold by, I think, Goulet Pens sells them. So I'm going to leave this tucked away at home. So this one's staying home. In terms of other Italian pens, well, I've got to go with this Leonardo. I know it's an expensive pen, but I've got to enjoy this pen somewhere. In the Neapolitan region. So the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0 Sottobosco. With the 18 karat La Fenice nib. The only nib worthwhile from Leonardo, in my view. The rest are Yowos. And this is a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande By the way, that was an 18 karat Lefinice number 8 size nib, 2.8 ebonite, with a steel number 8 nib. And maybe I misstated. It's probably not the 18 karat number 8 Lefinice nib is not the only nib. This steel nib is worth every penny. And it makes Leonardo pens so much more affordable, but it gives you that extra oomph that those number 6 Yowo nibs don't give you. So I enjoy this pen tremendously. It's always not far away. I'm going to bring this along. This is the Aurora. Now, as I mentioned, this Aurora will be replaced, or the nib will be replaced. I can't find it right now. But the Aurora will have a flex nib. But in the meantime, this is just a normal fine Sole Mio. I mean, the song that evokes Naples. But I'll switch it with the flex nib. So that's going to make the trip. It's my only Aurora. Next Italian pen that I've chosen to make the trip is this Omas. This is the Omas Ogiva or Ogiva demonstrator. Whoops. With a 14K fine nib. Just absolutely exquisite. Part of the new productions from Omas that people are skeptical about, I'm no longer skeptical. I own 3 Omas pens from the recent vintages, and they all perform excellent. This thing writes every time. Italian pens, Italian pens, Italian pens. That's it for Italian pens. Now, Japanese pens. The one that I've chosen is this to be considered anyway, is this Pilot M800, but it's not going to make the trip, and let me tell you why. I mean, I have to reduce. I have to try to get to 12. I mean, when you write with the M1000, as long as I have, which was years, and I never kind of bought the M800, the M1000 has that springy, juicy writing experience. This Pelican M800, as wonderful as it is in terms of comfort and the rest, this nib just doesn't speak to me. It is just too stiff of a nib. So I know that if I bring it along, I won't gravitate to it. I would always choose something else. So folks, it's going to stay home. That's 1. 2, this Lotus Titan I still have to get used to writing with this pen. And I really am afraid I don't want to, damage this nib. This is a really special pen for me anyway. So I'm going to leave this one home. I'm not going to bring it along. The next one that I've discarded, I have a couple of Wing Sungs that I have to decide on. This is the Wing Sung, so not applicable because it's not coming. Not applicable because it's not coming. This is the Wing Sung 630. It's the flat top edition with a broad stub. Just a little too messy ink-wise. So I have to make a choice. This one's staying home. So I should put here NA, not applicable in the sense that it's not coming with me. Okay, so I've discarded that. Now, this pen is I discovered a pen that I was mistakenly sent to me by one of my auction sites. I thought I bought a Burgundy 149. As it turns out, there's no such thing as a Burgundy 149 vintage, that is. There's a very recent edition of the Burgundy Mont Blanc 149, but those are not being sold on auction sites. The pens have just come out. As it turns out, this is a 147 Traveler's pen, but I'm still negotiating a kind of a settlement arrangement with the auction company. If they give me news and let me keep this pen for the price that I've suggested to them, it will come with me. If not, it's staying home because I don't want to, of course, damage it, just in case I have to return it. So we're not sure about the Mont Blanc 147. Speaking about Winsong, this Winsong is coming with me. It's my, last year's Chinese pen of the year. So this is the Winsong 930. And it's the Pope edition, the Pope pen, with that number 9 broad nib. Just fabulous. Awkward to write with because it's so big, but once you get going, especially that broad nib, it's very hard to resist. And it's probably the only pen that I'm bringing that has brown ink, which is a nice change. So this will make the trip. What else have I got? I've got my Majon P140. Demonstrator with that juicy number 8 sun nib. And this is a medium. And this is the new sun nib. So that's coming with me. Winsong, I'm also going to bring my Winsong 630, again, just because of the nib. 630, and this is a broad number 8. The new nibs that are, of course. So I like this. I like the size, feel, and it replaces a 149. So it's coming with me. So is this Asvine. So this is Asvine. C2000 Ebonite. And it's got a number 8 steel 1.1 stub. Really nice. Again, green ink. Don't have any green inks besides this one. So this one's going to be really, really nice. And a couple of other Chinese pens. I've got this Majon. This is just a beautiful pen. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of my favorites down there. Majon P137 with that lemon. And Sorrento and its outskirts are known for lemons and the limoncello. So when I'm having some limoncello in some restaurant, I'm going to pull out this lemon nib, hand polished, and do some writing. How's that for a plan? And this, of course, is the medium. So this lemon nib is definitely making the trip. Speaking of titanium, another one of my favorite pens. This is the Hongdian T1 titanium, and it's Hongdian number 6 medium nib, but it's got a little bit of fun tipping. You see that? That makes it just right, really just right. So that's going to make my trip as well. So what do we have here? That does the writing samples. Now, do I have too many? Well, let's count. Let's count. And we're going to have to add this one just in case it makes the trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh my goodness. 19. Yeah, 19. We're 7 over the objective of 12. But I think I have a solution for that. And before I deal with that solution, what I thought I'd do next is I'll show you some notebook possibilities. We'll look at some standalone pen cases, standalone pen or journal covers, and combo pen and covers at the same time, notebook and pens. And then I'll finally choose my pens and show you the solution to accommodate these choices. We'll do that at the end. So stay tuned for the next segment. We'll take a look at some notebooks and journals that could do the trick. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. Now, the first category of accessories I think that we can look at is standalone pen cases. I mean, one, perfectly logical idea is, you bring your notebook, whatever notebook you want, whatever size you want. Typically, I love A5, but I've also got a series of smaller ones that I'll show you in a few minutes. So, you can take your favorite notebook. A5 size, I think, is a reasonable size. I like to put my favorite notebooks in kind of leather cases. This is just one example amongst many. And, you'll have your standalone notebook covered with leather. It protects the notebook itself. If you're on the beach, you don't have to worry about, just paper sort of a product. So that's standalone. And of course, you've got your pen cases. You've got pen cases for 10. You've got pen cases that accommodate 6. You've got pen cases here that accommodate 12. And you've got pen cases that can accommodate 24 pens. I remember bringing this along when I went during this winter, went to play golf for a month in Portugal. And trust me, folks, I bought 24 pens with me. I knew that for a month, 6 or 10 or 12 wouldn't be enough. But you got your choices. And of course, you can go smaller than that as well. You can have 3 pen cases, 2 pen cases, or you know what? You can live with 1 pen, your favorite pen. But those are the standalones. I'd like to show you one product in particular in terms of notebook covers that can accommodate 2 types of notebooks. You can have a notebook that's this way, okay? Or you can accommodate a notepad here. And those are pretty convenient. You even have place for a little card book like this from Galen Leather. I think you can insert here like that, if you will. Or you can put whatever else you have here. Maybe your hotel room card. I don't know. Whatever you can think of. Typically, I never use these little things. I don't think that they serve a great purpose. But this does. I can use a notepad here. Typically, I would put a Rhodia notepad here and my main notebook. It even has, a very comfortable and very good size. So if you want just 1 pen, or for example, you're in your hotel room, you figured, let me go just I just want to relax at the poolside. So you bring 1 pen, your notebook, you're all set, and you're not too far away from your room. That's certainly one option. Okay, so those are your basic standalone notebooks, cases, or pen cases. Okay, we're back. I just wanted to show you different smaller size notebooks. Not A5, not A4, or A5 Slim, but more on the A6 size. There's plenty to go around. Most brand name notebooks have an A size. For example, this is an Oasis. Beautiful paper if you like, smooth and coated paper. This certainly does the job. I believe it's Japanese made. You've got Sterling Inks, who, combine an A6 with Tomoe River Sanson paper here in this case. I've got even the CD notebook, which is a premium paper, very, very coated. If that's what you like, A6 size. You've got even your Stalogy that it's a good paper. It's thin as Tomoe River paper. We've seen this before in an A6 size. And of course, if Tomoe River is the game, well, you've got your little Tomoe River A6 size notebooks that come a little bit thinner. Most of these are quite thick, so you can probably not need more than one of these, when you're just on the road, so to speak. They've got quite a few pages there. Then you've got your kind of Obonichi-like notebooks. This is the Kakamori, one of my favorite Chinese Obonichi lookalikes in an A6 size, as you could see. Very nice, fairly thick, so you got plenty of paper there. It's got its freelance or day-free version as well, the Kakamori here. The paper on this one is not as good as the one on the dated version. And of course, you've got your Obonichi. This is give you an example, Obonichi 2023. I like to purchase like previous years because I like the paper and I don't care about the date. So I get the notebook for, a quarter of the price. Whenever I can get my hands on these things, I do. So this is an Obonichi. This is Tomoe River paper original number 7. And this is you can get this on the Nami paper website. It's the Cafe Note. It's even got a coated, kind of a coated paper backing that's kind of plasticky, so it protects your notebook. Now that's the regular, notebooks that open this way. You can also have notepads. You've got this little guy, which is a what are they? I forget. Is it Midori? Yeah, it's Midori paper. Very small, very compact. You can put this in your back pocket if you're not one to be fussy and take your notes here or whatever you see. You can do your drawings, whatever it is. This is one shot. That's it. All you need is this. You throw it in your bag and you're all set. That's one. You can also get Life notebooks in notepad forms. And I'll show you how you can fit this in a pen case later on. You can get your Rhodia in a notepad form as well, if Rhodia is what you prefer. And you even have a bigger version with the Nimosine paper. Again, if you like coated paper, this is certainly one of the best Japanese papers out there. If you like coated paper, I personally don't, and this is kind of a bigger size than A6 and can easily fit into, I'll show you one of the pen cases, this combo pen case that I want to introduce to you in a couple of seconds. You even have the small little card books that are sold by Galen Leathers. Just kind of, if you need to take a quick note, maybe leave a little note to your wife while you go down and she's still asleep. Little note on her bedside saying, "Dear, I'm downstairs at the pool writing with my notebooks." There you have it. We got CRENA, my favorite paper these days, in this is a B7 Slim, so it's much smaller, as you can see, than an A6, if that's what you like. I even have a CRENA stamp collection onion skin paper. If you want to write on onion skin, it's a lot of fun. But I just got this from a viewer who sent it to me, kind enough to do so. Thought I'd show you that. But there you have it. Then, of course, you have your classic Weeks. This is the Weeks sort of a format where they're slimmer but taller. So a little bit bigger than the A6, but smaller, half the size of the A5. And this is the Kakamori Weeks. Of course, you don't have to follow the dates. You can just use the notebook to take notes. This is your Weeks Obonichi that I had back in 23. As you can see, lots of free, free of any dates. And it's hardcover. You can throw that in your bag. That works as well. This is Good Impressions, Tomoe River paper, a little bit slimmer size. But again, if you're looking for a slimmer sized notebook, that can do the trick. And speaking of, slimmer, you've got, of course, your classic traveler's, notebook and cover system where you can put, several all in one, if you will. You've got plastic inserts where you can put things, all kinds of things, especially people who like to keep their tickets, etc., etc. These are CRENA notebooks to become my favorite these days. You've got little plastic inserts where you can open up, zip it up, and throw in whatever, bills or whatever you're collecting. These are the CRENA traveler notebooks, which have this beautiful paper. You can write and enjoy the CRENA paper, which I think is a lot better than the notebooks that usually come with these traveler cases or traveler covers. So here you have, that's your classic travelers. I find them a little bit too long and a little bit too slim, but of course they're very popular. So those are some of the notebook options that you have. And what I want to look at next is, okay, let's assume I have some of these notebooks. Do I have any pen case that can accommodate both the notebook and the pens? Stay tuned. That's next. So let's start with the cheapest alternative, which is this one from China. I bought this on Taobao. You can find these on AliExpress as well. I find they're cheaper on Taobao. I paid this one $28 plus shipping, and so roughly $35. It's I don't like the color. That was a mistake on my part. In fact, I'm expecting another one soon. But you can get them in different colors. Now, there's no leather here. All of it is kind of material. It's got a decent zipper, though, even double zipper, as it turns out. And it opens up, and as you can see, it can accommodate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's take some pens. Typical, actually not typical. Why don't we try to put in some of the bigger pens, just so that we get an idea how they fit. This is a Jinnah 169 that I just got. I can combine that with a P136 from Mahjong. We can add in my P141 or 140 from Mahjong. Why don't we throw in my Mahjong C5 as well? We'll throw in a P136, which is the size of a Mont Blanc. And let's throw in another 169, which is huge pens. Okay, there you have it. There's a cover there. And here, now this one is sewn right in the middle, so you can't put anything in there but you can add pencils or pen. But certainly this can accommodate a notebook. Let's say, well, actually, let's start with the thickest one, okay, which is this cafe note, and see if it fits. The netting is, a little bit of patience, just because the netting prevents the notebook from sliding in. You can see it's a tight fit. That's not going to work. You're going to have to put, I think, a thinner notebook, just so that. Don't forget, this is $30. As you can see, it's not as convenient. Does it fit? Barely fits there. You got to push it in, I guess, or go with that CRENA notebook, which is much smaller. I'm sure that would fit. Now, will this zip up? Let's see. Certainly does zip up. So there you have it. It's a little bit smaller. Accommodate an A6 notebook. 6 huge pens, and of course, if you've got smaller, can it accommodate 2? Now you're pushing it, and the A6 I think is the biggest size notebook that you can put in there, unless you go for the B7 Slim. You can probably even throw that in there. And will it zip up? No, you're pushing it here. So you're looking at basically one A6 notebook with 6 pens, any size. Okay, so that's the Chinese. That's $30. Now, let's put that aside. We'll use the same pens and compare. Now, this is a more premium product from Galen Leather. This one, it goes for $154. Let me just take that out. It's one of their newest products. Beautiful zipper. As you can see, take a look at that. Huge, big zipper. Very nice. Leather, nice, soft leather. The inside is kind of a silk material. Flap there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I suspect the pens here will fit even nicer. Let's just see. Look at that. There's a little snag there. You gotta, not working out here. And this is $154. I mean, look, you can probably get it in there but it snags. Let's see if my P136 fits a little bit easier. Yeah, okay. So we're looking at, let me see if this one, it just snags because of the cap. I don't think it's a size issue. It's just the way the pen, there, you see that one slides in a little nicer. Let's see that one too, and the 136 as well. And I got a feeling that if you're a little bit patient and you kind of force it in once, you'll stretch it out and it should work out. But I'm having difficulty. That cap is just not going through. It just doesn't want to go. See, gets snagged there for some reason. There we go. Okay, it's just a question of getting it to kind of stretch a little bit, and then, okay, it fits. I mean, it's certainly the size fits. Now, we only got one flap here. It's fairly tight, so let's see if we can put in one of the thicker notebooks. Yes, you can. This is one of the thicker notebooks. You can probably throw in one of these little guys as well, if you will. You can certainly even probably throw in a Rhodia this way. It doesn't have to fit. You can throw it in that way, so you get two of them. Will it zip up with two? Yes, it will, with some difficulty, but it does. And this is leather, so it'll get used to. Now, you don't want to ruin your pen case that way, so I wouldn't recommend it. I think you're still looking at maybe just one, and you don't need two thick notebooks. One A size, A6. Nice fit, beautiful product, and you're all set. You got your pens, you got your notebook. You don't have to worry about carrying around 2 or 3 products. One will be sufficient, and of course, you can choose whatever you wish. You won't be able to put in this type of a notebook that's a little too long, if you will. And of course, the traveler notebooks will not fit in here either. So you're basically looking at A6 size or anything similar. And of course, you can go with the slimmer size, and it makes even more sense. So you're not stretching anything in terms of pages. Now you're not even ruining the leather in any way. Fits very nicely, and this zipper is strong, extra durable. So that's $157, folks. Wanted to show you that. So that's kind of a middle of the road. Then you've got your Mercedes-Benz, if you will. This is Lieb, a Japanese product with very, very, very soft leather, as you can see. Let's see what this looks like inside. Similar concept, flap. So let's take our pens one at a time. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And I mean, you can put, huge, even larger and longer pens. But I find that these are like 149 sizes. Now, the disadvantage of this one is this only takes in 5. Nice flap. It's kind of a felt, felt material. In terms of notebooks, let's see what this can can support. You can put your big Obonichi there, and you can put a smaller notebook there, if you will. I think it'll fit. Looks like it does. Will it close on us? Let's check it out. Yeah, really nice. So this one kind of fits probably the most, if you will, and it really stretches out nicely. It's softer leather. It's a premium product. And of course, you don't need to bring two of them. One is sufficient. You can even use the concept of the notepad. Okay, so for example, if you want to be able to write and leave it there permanently, it's there, and you can write whatever your notes are this way, and of course that'll fit even nicer. Okay, and if not, you can tuck it in there. You can put your little kind of card books here as well. You can put stickers, put whatever you need. Very nice product. That's Ann Lieb. I've got another Ann Lieb product that I want to show you, and that's in the, if you just want pens, this is a different type of leather, just classic. This is more, much softer, but the same, very nice construction. But here you can throw in 10 pens. Very nice. Premium product. So this one is $200. This is all Canadian, whereas the Galen leather is $154. So very, very nice products, I must say. I think that this year, my go-to system is going to be this. I think I'm not going to bring this premium product. I don't want it to be damaged. Okay, I'm leaving these things in boxes. I just take this to work. But I got to tell you, this Galen leather, first of all, it'll give me 6 pens. It is going to do the trick. It's a lot rough, sturdy and a little more solid, and it's cheaper, so I won't feel as bad if I damage it. And then, of course, if I find that I don't want to take a chance at all, and if I'm going to be more on the beach with sand and water and all the rest of it, this little guy will do the trick. And this thing at $25, if I lose it, if it gets damaged or dirty, it's no big deal. It still carries 6 pens. It still has an A6. It does exactly what these two will do for me. So why not, right? So there you have it. A couple ideas for you. I wanted to show off these new notebook and pen cases as well. I hope you enjoyed that. And you know what? If you're planning a vacation, it's summertime, enjoy it. Now, we've chosen the pens. I've shown you some alternatives of notebooks and journals as well. And here are going to be my choices that I'm going to bring with me for this trip. They're all CRENA products. As you know, I'm going crazy over CRENA, so it'd be silly for me to bring anything other than CRENA. I have these CRENA Traveler notebooks. Actually, we'll see what some that I've already put into a Traveler binder, if you will. I have my A6 size diary, that special paper that's more portable. So this is the CRENA A6. And for when I'm in the mood of writing on bigger paper, I have a brand new CRENA A5 size. The A5 size will go in here. I'm going to bring this one with me. So if I open this up, this will go in here. Fits beautifully. 1 second, let me just push it in so I can show you. There you have it. That's where it's going to go. The reason I'm bringing this one is because, first of all, this is a little more rugged. So on the poolside or on a beach somewhere, I don't have to worry about an expensive, leather product. I can close it up. If I just want to go poolside, I have a big ring here to put at least one big pen. or any pen will fit there. So this is my choice for the A5. The A6 will go into this little guy because it too has this pen loop. So this gets installed this way. There you go. Put a little pen loop there. Again, if I want to just throw that in my handbag, can be done with one of my favorite pens. Not a problem. So that will be for my A6. And I'm going to bring, this is the first time I'm going to enjoy this kind of a notebook, which is the Traveler's Notebook. I bought this on AliExpress, and I have my all my CRENA traveling notebooks. I have graph, lined. I'm even going to do some doodling on my, I have grid, ruled, and blank. So we'll do some doodling on the blank. So this will be the first time I use this system. And I'm sure that I can slip in a pen in there. Should I want to, or should I just want to bring one? So those are in terms of my final choices for my journals. Now, let me show you in terms of pen cases what I've decided to use on this vacation. Be right back. Okay, as promised, we've looked at choosing pens, choosing notebooks, cases, standalone cases, and combo cases, and notebook covers. Next is to just show you my final choices. I'm not going to compromise on these 19 pens, other than to say that if this comes through and it becomes officially mine, it's coming with me. And as I mentioned, this is probably the one that's going to go by the wayside. So regardless, we're talking about 18 pens. The solution, here's what I'm thinking. I know I'm bringing this along with me, okay? And this has place for 6 pens. So, you know, there's no point in storing this in my baggage with no pens. So I'm going to put 6 pens here. And the other 12 are going to go in my 12 pen case. I have a few, but I think I'm going to favor this one. It's hard-shelled, so it protects the pens really well. I'm going to put 12 pens here. I'm going to put 6 pens here so that I can use this as I wish. You know, it's going to be a stand. It's going to be, you know, 6 pens and a notebook that I can travel with without bringing the other 12. Especially if I'm thinking when I'm in Capri. I don't want to bring 19 pens in Capri for 2 days. So this is probably what's going to come with me, along with perhaps a standalone journal. So that's coming with me. This is coming with me. We've already looked at if I want to just going somewhere and I don't want to bring 6 pens. I just want to bring 1 pen and a notebook. This will do the trick. So this is the standalone 1 pen solution and 1 notebook solution. I've got this solution as well if I want to play around with this. Okay, we can probably put 1 pen there. Okay, and of course I got my notebook here that's going to come with me that can accommodate just 1 pen, or that will be my A5. Oh, that's a sticker. That will be my A5 notebook that can come with me at any time, or that I could use. So those are my solutions, folks. That's what I'm going to be bringing. I know it's a lot of stuff, but look, I enjoy this. I'm not going to make, excuses. I have these products, and people say, oh my God, what are you bringing on vacation? Well, this is going to be one of those relaxed vacations where I'm going to be relaxing with my pens, reading a couple of books. In fact, I'm planning to read a book on journaling and maybe just a novel as well. And typically I take notes when I read as well, so I don't forget what the chapter was about. And so that's what I'm looking at, folks, as a final solution. I hope you enjoyed that. It was long, but that's an alternative to my weekly recap. I figured I'd give you the benefit of my thinking. I had to go through this process anyway. Why not record it and try to make some sense of it all? Those are my vacation plan, folks. I'm really, really glad that you can join me for this. Stay tuned. I don't know if I'm going to do anything live from where I am, but certainly when I come back, I'm probably going to have something planned for you to see what comes out of all this. In the meantime, I need a vacation, and I'm going to enjoy it. Without me or with me, enjoy your vacations, enjoy your pens, your inks, and your papers, and be well, and we'll see you sometime soon. Ciao.